Welcome to 29 to Life.
The podcast where two nearly 30-year-olds are still trying to figure out their 20s.
I'm Annie.
And I'm Lucy.
Come and join us as we figure it all out together. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I had a very deep sleep last night, so I'm feeling good.
Refreshed?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's always good. Yeah, all good.
Yeah?
Yeah, just mentally preparing myself for the week ahead. Even though it is a shorter week for me, but still. Yeah. It is what it is.
I mean, your birthday, so...
My birthday, yeah.
Although when this goes out, your birthday will have been...
a couple of weeks.
Long ago.
Yeah. But, yeah, and I'll be 29.
Finally, you'll join the party with the name of the podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's good.
Exciting.
Nice. All right, then. Should we do it?
Yeah.
All right, then. Here it is.
You know what it is?
What is it?
It's time for... Lucy's Loves and Loathes.
You'd think I'd know by now that it was time for that, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, because I hope that you were, on the edge of your seat wanting to know.
Oh, always.
Always. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this week's Loves and Loathes, complete opposite of each other, I think, which they tend to be. But my love of the week is a new Netflix series, The Gentleman. And, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm only, first episode in. But from the get-go, from those opening credits, I was hooked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that is what everything that you need in a Netflix show. You want something that you can put on and really get into it, really get into the story. And I loved the film version,
right,
that Guy Ritchie did, and now he's done the series. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the characters are just great, and I think it's been really well cast. So if anybody who hasn't seen it, jump on that. Get on it, Annie.
All right, I will.
And then in contrast to that, very boring, very mundane, but it is what it is, and everyone can relate to this. My loathe of the week is energy providers.
Oh, God.
And trying to sort out my rates and everything. It was really, really annoying. So I had an email being like, can you upload your meter reading? Which I did, but they wouldn't accept it because it was lower than what they expected. Yeah, because I'm being, a conscious queen, and also I don't need to keep, using my heating. You've been to my place? It retains the heat very well. Yeah, and because it was lower than what they expected, they were like, we can't accept this. I was like, you will accept it because it's the truth. I've got photo evidence. I'll send you the photo.
Losers.
So that was my very boring adult life.
It's part of life, isn't it?
It is part of life, and everyone can relate to that because that is just, it is what it is.
Cosy lives.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's me this week. But
thank you.
Just updating you on my life.
Short, sweet, snappy.
It's what I am.
Slightly inconvenient in some ways.
Yeah, it was.
We move.
Yeah, move on with life.
All right then. I guess it's time for put another slang on the Barbie. I said last week I was sick of you guessing them.
Yeah,
you only guessed one word last week, but I just want one
where I'm completely stumped.
Where you just don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, well,
so
try me.
I feel like I need to get into character. I was at Gather on Saturday and saw this mad ganger get stuck into this esche lad. Your face.
What? What? All I got from that was Saturday.
Well, that's how quickly they would talk, and
This is why I can never go to Australia, because I don't think I'd understand what they're saying.
No, you'd not survive in rural Australia.
No.
Anyway,
Please say it again.
I was at a gather on Saturday and saw this mad ganger get stuck into this esche lad. She's stumped. Finally, I'm teaching you something.
I honestly, I don't know. I really, really don't know. I couldn't even hazard a guess apart from apparently something's going down on a Saturday.
You don't want to try?
I don't even know if I can remember everything you've just said.
I'll say it one more time for you.
Okay.
I was at a gather on Saturday and saw this mad ganger get stuck into this esche lad.
I was at a gathering?
Yes.
Okay, on Saturday. That's literally all I can pick up on that.
Don't want to hazard a guess at what mad ganger gets stuck into this esche lad means?
Is it because Australia is obviously filled with all these bloody animals, which are great, but they can just appear out of nowhere, which terrifies me. Even the thought of it. Is it I was at a gathering on Saturday and this massive snake or something just popped up? Because if that was the case, I would actually die.
Depends. I think it's in the eye of the beholder, really, on whether it would be considered an animal or not.
What? I feel like you just need to put me out of my misery because I have no idea.
So we'll say the sentence one more time and then I will reveal.
Okay.
I was at a gather on Saturday and saw this mad ganger get stuck into this esche lad. Means, in the Queen's English.
Yeah.
I was at a gathering on Saturday and I saw this particularly bad slut have a fight with this chav.
Oh.
Esche is like a kind of more encompassing term for like a new age bogan. They're not quite a bogan, but it's, I'd say an esche is more in line with a chav than, and also a lad's kind of like a chav as well. So an esche lad's like the,
right.
Yeah.
Oh
Esche is like kind of.
Esche.
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 No.
Esche.
Esche, yeah.
Esche. Sorry. Wow, that took me a long time. Esche. Okay.
Yeah. It like kind of became more popular, and it's kind of always like been there for as a slang term, but it became more popular when I was in high school to call people that.
Really? Was that like a common thing that people would just whip out?
Not like super common, but you'd be like, oh, like
That's...
it was kind of a joke to be like, oh, esche, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
But I personally didn't know any actual esches. So,
okay.
And they had like this thing where they had their own version of, like the actual esches had their own version of Pig Latin, so they would be like, oh, he's ilche, as in like chill.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a whole thing.
I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit lost, but I'm...
Yeah, I thought you would to me.
Yeah.
Finally stumped you. So
yeah, you have.
There we go then.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I've learned something new today.
You've learnt what you don't want to be.
Yeah.
As always, you can check us out on our social pages. We have an Instagram, we have a YouTube, we have a TikTok page, all with the same handle, at 29 to Life Pod.
And then you can also send us a cheeky email, which is 29tolifepod@gmail.com.
Perfect. Yeah, today we are talking all about body image, diet culture.
God, yeah.
All of that stuff.
Jesus.
Heavy topic. It's not all bad.
No, it's not all bad. I just think personally, for me, you say the word body image and I just have a flashback to every single time that over the years I'm like, ugh, about myself.
Every time you've been in a changing room anywhere.
Yeah. Which gives the shivers.
Let's start at the very beginning.
Yeah.
When was the first time that you ever felt a bit self-conscious or negative about your body image?
So I think for me, when I was 13.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think obviously in primary school you understand that you're different, and like I said in last episode about comparisons, like you notice different things.
Yeah.
But I was always told when I was younger, oh, it's just puppy fat. It will go.
I hate that term.
Yeah. And then I got into high school and puberty was a thing. And yeah, I just thought, oh, it'll be fine, whatever. And then it wasn't until it was leading up to my 13th birthday, and me and my friend, we have our birthdays in March.
Yeah.
So we decided to have like a joint birthday party, and it was so much fun. But the lead up to that, and trying to find something to wear for that, I distinctly remember a day that I went shopping with my mum and my friend that I was having this joint 13th birthday party with. And my friend, she managed to get a dress straight away. It was beautiful, it was lovely and whatever. And I really struggled. And I remember being in a changing room, trying on all these different dresses and just breaking my little heart, because it was just like trying them on and it just wasn't giving what I wanted it to give. And I really noticed that I didn't look like my friend, and we looked very, very different. And I just felt like, oh God, we're hosting this joint 13th birthday party at our local village hall, and it's going to be so much fun, and all our friends and kids from our year, and I just feel like I'm going to be on show, but not for the right reasons.
Yeah, I think it's that age in particular is difficult because of the natural process of puberty. Everyone is at a different stage within their hormonal growth cycle.
Yeah.
So some people are still more childlike, and some people are more, womanly or manly by that point.
Yeah. And for my friend, she was on the latter. So, you know, she had lovely figure, and I was still like puppy fat girl.
Oh.
But at the same time, just like, yeah, it was traumatic. And I think about, and it's actually funny because until you asked that question, I hadn't thought about that memory for years.
It's funny what your brain can do to just really shove it all down there so you don't think about it when it's been a not so nice memory.
And don't get me wrong, we had a great time. And when I was dancing to Cascader on the stage, I really couldn't care less. Yeah. You know, or going to the chocolate fountain, because yes, we had one at this party. Thank you very much. Nice. I didn't really care, but it was, you know, I look back on old photos, because that was the time when everyone would like take a digital camera. Oh yeah, you know, yeah. Out, and my friend,
which apparently is now a trend again, so that makes me feel old.
Same here. And my friend, she always used to take photos of every like party or whatever, and then upload them to Facebook. And I was like, oh god, I look awful.
Did you have the Facebook at 13?
I didn't. No. I didn't actually have Facebook until I was in year 10, so 15. Oh, okay. Everybody else, I was more of a like Bebo girl back in the day.
Bebo was where it was at.
Yeah. My Bebo skin was it was Base Hunter.
Nice.
And so was my video, because, you know, all I ever wanted.
I liked how Bebo worked as like an actual site. But then I moved on to MySpace. I had a Facebook account, but I didn't use it.
No. My sister did.
But MySpace was like, every time we touched by Cascader.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I had that at one point, yeah.
I remember I can't remember if it was me or my friend, had the most ridiculous MySpace page. And it's like, you are 13. Calm down. It had like, I think it was my friend had like, you know, like that yellow caution tape.
Oh my god.
So there was a background that had like yellow caution tape going diagonally and loads of strips across the background. Yeah. And then there was like this Tila Tequila song playing.
Oh my god. That's unhinged.
So ridiculous. And it's like, you can definitely tell it was an age where like no one really told your parents to watch your kids on the internet that much from really young. You could just do whatever you wanted. Yeah. It was terrifying.
Oh my god.
But anyway, we digress. So that was your kind of first experience.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it was just, it was one of those things. What about you? What was your sort of first thing of being like, oh?
Mine, I was a lot younger.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I think probably because I was always quite tall as well.
Yes. Yeah,
so I was always pretty much the tallest person in my class. And it took a couple of years for people to start catching up to me. But that didn't make me feel self-conscious. I was just like, oh, I'm tall. Yeah. I'm fine. I'm tall. I think maybe probably year 4, year 5 age.
Yeah.
Because that, again, it's the puppy fat era.
Yeah.
Which I hate that term because puppies aren't fat, firstly, and secondly, you just don't need to put that idea into a kid's head, really.
No.
But like that was a societal thing, so I don't blame anyone for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But from my experience at my school in year 5 is when all the girls started caring more about what they were wearing and do you know what I mean? Like people started, not that makeup was a thing really back then. Those foul little palettes with like eyeshadow that's been in there for decades, that's bright green or purple. And that was like do you remember that hair glitter, like that hair mascara?
Yes.
That you could, it was so grim, it would make your hair so sticky, like all of that kind of stuff, and like the impulse body sprays and like the like groovy girl glitter makeup kits.
Oh my god, yeah.
Just that kind of silly stuff that, you know, was, well, it wasn't silly at the time, it was actually really cool.
Yeah,
and I just remember in about year 5, I really wanted a Lancome Juicy Tube lip gloss. Like that was the thing that I was obsessed with. I'd be like, what do you want for your birthday? I want a Lancome Juicy Tube, please. So like naturally that age is where people started caring about how they looked. Yeah. So I think that's where I started to be like, oh, I don't look like this young, skinny, sporty athlete. Yeah. Why? I think also because you're figuring out how you want to dress at that point.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in that sort of in-between stage of, because I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but for me personally, I had confidence about what I was wearing probably until year 5 because I didn't care. And then I got to year 5 and everyone was starting to be like, this is cool, this is not cool. I was like, but I want to dress like Avril Lavigne.
Oh my God, it's so funny that you said that because I did dress like Avril Lavigne.
Do you remember, did you have
phase.
those little plastic
Yes,
bats? So this is, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I, for some reason, God knows why, really wanted braces when I was in year 5. Because I think maybe my brother had just started his process of getting braces at that point and I felt left out. So those weird little rubber band bracelets, I used to put one in my mouth and make it look like I had braces.
Oh my God, Annie.
I mean, I was 9, but like, still.
I'm fine.
I'm fine, I've got braces, everyone.
Did you have, because my Avril Lavigne phase was very much, you know, like the long shorts with the trainers and the socks. And then
did you ever have Kipling trainers?
No, I don't know. But then like...
The big chunky black ugly trainers.
Oh no.
Oh, okay, that was just me then.
And like long sleeve tops, but
with
then,
a t-shirt on top.
Yeah. But then I also had, they were like not knitted, but like thick material, thick bands.
Oh, the sweatbands.
Like sweatbands,
yeah,
but they came up right, like really long. But
they were like a glove sweatband.
Yeah, but it, at the top and at the bottom, the trim, there were like these big metal studs. And mine were black and hot pink striped, and I used to wear those, and I had a skateboard.
They're like fingerless glove vibe as well.
Fingerless glove. I didn't do the fingerless glove. I just had the sweatbands because I thought I was the coolest thing ever. And I had a skateboard, and I went through that phase.
Yeah, so I had like baggy jeans.
Avril Lavigne.
I remember we ordered some clothes for me from this weird French catalogue.
Right.
You know when you're a kid, you just always order catalogue clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I feel like that's a dying art now to buy because Argos was. I used to love Argos. Was a whole other thing. But I'm not going to get distracted by the Argos catalogue because that was something else. But
that was epic.
I was ordering these clothes from this catalogue, and it was like a hoodie that was like a sleeveless hoodie kind of vibe, and then you know, you must have had one of those t-shirts that Avril that had the fake tie on after Avril Lavigne wore a school tie.
Oh, I don't think I ever had one of those, but I remember.
Do you know what I mean?
There
was those like kind of graphic tees with those, so all of that kind of stuff. Which because I was starting to feel body conscious, and then my old nanny who was looking after me was like, okay, let's look at the catalogue and kind of help me figure out, oh, you like this, it's okay to like this, just wear this.
Yeah.
Whereas all the other girls were like, I'm wearing a sparkly, frilly, you know those 3-tiered frilly skirts?
Oh my God,
Do you remember them?
Yeah,
They've just had a chokehold with like a double, that kind of Hannah Montana-esque double vest vibe.
Yes, yeah.
That was what everyone else was wearing with ballet flats. And I was like, I'm dressed like Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
And then I kind of like did a bit of that, and I didn't. But you're figuring out who you are. So I know I definitely felt conscious around that age.
Oh yeah, me too.
For sure. Yeah. And that's sort of where it started. And then we've had peaks and troughs over the years since, really.
I mean, same, because I would not count myself as fashionable at all. I just wear what I like to wear, and that's always been the case. But oh my God, I look back at some photos and I'm thinking, what the actual
The thing is, though, I feel like even if you feel good in what you're wearing, 9 times out of 10, you look back 5 years and you go, oh.
Did you ever go through a phase, and I don't know if this was a British kid thing or not, right? But I went through a phase of jeans, a like thick strapped tank top, right? But then it was like these really short cropped little jackets.
Oh, those weird little knitted ones.
Not knitted, no, like material that you could button up if you wanted to. But then the thing that the piece de resistance, right? Yeah. Was that I used to wear these long like beads that I would like,
the double beads.
The double beads,
or the bead with the knot in.
Bead with the knot in, or when wearing the beads, you like wrap it around your neck so it's like up round your neck and then the rest are like flowing down.
Those beads were just ridiculous.
Oh, I had those in so many colours.
I remember vividly having red ones.
Oh yeah.
And then did you have that phase of like nerd glasses?
Yes, but to amplify that, I went through a phase of having really like statement jewellery because of course it's me. Of course,
did you have you know those belts that are like round, those round belts that are like linked round? So they're like circle, and then you like.
My sister did back in the day, but I went through a phase of statement jewellery, and I had like a necklace, but then it was a pair of glasses, obviously not glasses to wear, but it was actually like a pendant of glasses.
Did you get sucked into that moustache era?
Yes,
the moustache era.
I had loads of that stuff. And I remember having this gold necklace that was just an eagle with its wings out. Yeah.
I had a weird eagle necklace.
Yeah. The chokehold, that necklace.
And did you have a scarf era as well?
Yes, I did that. Like
the wraparound, the thin wraparound scarf.
Yes.
Oh, God, we're all the same, really.
Okay.
That was, I think, during my Jonas Brothers era.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Because they were all scarfed up. So.
Yeah, and Hannah Montana.
Yeah, she was the double vest as well. It's funny though, because at the time I remember having periods of feeling really self-conscious, but then feeling really confident at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's not really talked about, is that body image isn't really linear. It's not like you either feel good or you feel bad.
No.
You can have a day where even get up in the morning, you're like, oh, I feel really good today.
Yeah.
Get ready. But then you could be walking down the street about 4 hours later and go, I look really huge. If you catch sight of yourself in a shop window or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, but I started the day feeling really good about myself. Why do I feel bad about myself now? It's just, they're interlinked. It's not ever one good thing or one bad thing.
No. And it is very much up and down. And I feel like that throughout all my life, really. You have those periods and then those different phases of life.
Yeah.
When did you, like, moving on from sort of early teens and all of that sort of fun fashion and whatever, when did you really start to care about what other people thought?
Well, I think I did when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I think there's so much pressure to keep up with your friends and keep up appearances and feel like you're going to attract a man or like a man-child at that point, a boy. All of that stuff. So I felt pressure then. And then I think when I got to uni, I cared a little less, which is weird because that's another sort of transitional phase.
Yeah.
I suddenly was like, okay, these are the clothes I have. I think by that point I'd sobbed in so many changing rooms when I was trying to find an outfit for something. By that point I kind of knew how to work it so that didn't happen. Yeah. Not to say that it didn't happen occasionally, because I actually found if I was looking for something for an event, I'd make sure I gave myself time, because I think one of the problems I used to have was that I would make it such a last minute thing that it...
Oh my God, same.
Not only was it hard for me to find something for my body type, but also that would have been hard for anyone in that amount of time to actually find something that they feel good in, unless you're, the sample size. Yes. But even then, it might be that everything's ugly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? You can't find a colour that suits you or...
No.
So I think I kind of realised, I need to give myself time if I'm going to find something I feel comfortable in. Yeah. So that really helped me. But I suppose there probably were times at uni that I was like, oh, I don't feel as pretty as these other people, or on a night out maybe.
Oh yeah, same.
But then also it changed from high school. Not that I didn't drink in high school, but I was drinking more at uni.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of just got to the point of drunkenness where I just didn't care.
Yeah.
So I don't think I thought about it that much. I wasn't really self-conscious. And I think because when I got to uni, I started to become more confident as a person. So yeah, it's not that I didn't feel self-conscious at any points, because I did. And it's not that my body image had drastically improved or went the other way. I just think because I became more confident in myself, it was less at the forefront of my mind. So the days where I was maybe not as busy or had that day where I was like, oh, this doesn't feel like it fits me, or because I feel like I put on a lot of weight in the first term of uni.
Yeah, me too.
But it's purely from drinking, because then when I came back after the Christmas break, I was like, I'm not drinking for a month, and I lost like 5 kilos. Didn't change anything else about my lifestyle, just stopped drinking. Yeah. So as you age, you kind of, your experiences dictate how you feel about yourself, if that makes, you know what I mean? So I became more confident, so it became less of a big deal to me. But that's not to say that it wasn't still a big deal on certain occasions. It's a hard thing. It's sort of there, but it's not there a lot of the time. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I got to uni and I just, I put on a lot of weight. And then all my like other housemates at the time, and we'd go out and I'd be like, I feel so out of place right now. But again, you get drinking, you play a few drinking games, you go out, and I'm the type of person
that just focus on having fun.
I focus on having fun. And I don't really care. And that's always been my attitude. When I go out and I go out with friends, that's my focus. Yeah. So I'm not there to attract a guy. Yeah. I mean, they can try, but they will not succeed. Yeah. But I that was never my focus, to be honest. But I think part of that was because, I'm not particularly feeling very confident right now. So, again, fake it till we make it. Mm-hmm. focus on having a good time with the people that I'm with, and roll with it. It's just difficult, isn't it? Because like you say, you go through ebbs and flows of it, and sometimes I thought, I'm the shit. Look at me go. And then other things I say like, no, I feel shit.
Yeah, I think it's interesting as well, you saying that, because for the longest time I didn't relate that to other people. So
right.
I'd be like, oh, I'm feeling really shit about myself. Everyone else looks like this. And you sort of compare yourself, but then you wouldn't turn it around and go, oh, maybe they're feeling self-conscious about how their hair looks, or maybe they're feeling self-conscious about... you don't really think about the other side of the fact that the girl you're comparing yourself to might be comparing themselves to you.
Yes.
When do you think you kind of became aware that others were feeling... Because I don't think there's a single... I mean, unless you're some kind of raging narcissistic sociopath.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single person on earth who hasn't had a feeling of self-doubt before, or self-consciousness, you know.
Yeah.
When do you think you became aware that other people had those feelings too?
I would probably say college and uni,
Yeah.
really. Because I think at high school I was so in my own head and so focused on myself and my own body image issues. Yeah, and I would compare myself to my friends around me, but it was very much, I felt like I was on my own in that, because I would look at my friends at the time and they'd be like, well, they have literally nothing to worry about.
Exactly, that's the thing. I think because you're so invested in your own view of yourself and you've compared that to those around you, you don't actually stop to think, hey, they're probably feeling something similar in their own set of circumstances.
Yeah, so then by the time I got to college, it was more like, oh, okay, it's your friendship group, it widens, you're meeting different people, you're having different conversations. Again, you're learning different things. And then uni, and, you know, you form friendships, don't you? And you have those types of conversations with those people. And you're like, oh, yeah, okay, that's absolutely fine. And you start to realise, we're all in this together. We're just all on our own journeys with it.
I think as well, around the time that I realised that other people felt these things too, just for their own particular things that they're self-conscious about within their own bodies and selves, is a similar time to when I realised the effect that diet culture has had on me and also can have on other people, and also the way that it's advertised to us too.
Oh, definitely.
I think there's definitely periods of my life, if I look back and go, oh, okay, so I was trying a diet at this point. Was I influenced by a friend, a family member, or did I see an advert for this and think, oh, that's going to solve all my problems? I
think it's a combination of all three, because I was the same. I mean, I went and have tried so many different diets over the years, and even from a very, very young age. And it's almost like, you know, your friends and your family, they'll support you, be like, oh, you know, if you want to do this, I'll do it with you, like, you know. And my mum, she's done different diets over the years, and then you sort of see that, or my sister, and like, you know, other family members, and you see that and you think, oh, okay, that's the norm.
Yeah, but also I think it's such a personal, I mean, it does feel like a struggle at times, but I also think it's just such a personal journey.
Yeah, it is.
That it can be very sensitive to share with people and talk about. And I know from my, you know, past experiences, I've been incredibly sensitive and I've lashed out, and I've not actually seen that people were coming to me from a point of worried about my health. There may have been other underlying things, but I can't speak for them. So
no.
At the time, I just felt like it was because they didn't like the way I looked, and it was an aesthetic thing. And it wasn't, it may have been partially that, but it also probably largely was to do with making me healthy. Yeah. And making sure I was looking after myself.
Yeah.
Which at the time, you can't see through that.
No, you can't.
But looking back, I can now go, oh, okay, that's what it was. Yeah. Because I've changed my perspective on all of it.
Yeah.
I can go, okay, yeah, that's what that was. It's not.
Yeah.
But again, at the time, you feel so like, this is like my entire being. This is how I am presented to the world, and it's sort of being picked at.
Yeah.
So it's not the most comfortable space to be in at all.
No, it's not. And also, because I had a very similar experience with that, it's like, oh, okay. And then I'm quite a sensitive person, so then I would take everything really, really personally.
Yeah.
And I would get really, really upset about it. And then I felt like I couldn't really speak to my friends about it because like they didn't have that, or for me at the time I didn't know that they had perhaps their own like body image issues or thoughts or feelings, and I was like, you don't look like me, you can't relate.
But also I think on that, body dysmorphia is so much more common than you would initially have thought.
Yeah,
I
it
think
really is.
on some level most people probably have it.
Yeah,
and,
I would say so.
I mean, I'm not a professional, so don't take that as gospel, but I do feel like with my friends, if they're looking in a mirror and they say, oh, I look like this looks bad or whatever, I'll be like, I can't see that. I physically cannot see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's not even that I would, if they said something and I could see it, I'm not going to lie to them, but I'm going to be like, okay, well, what can we do?
Yeah.
Or be like, don't be so hard on yourself. It's okay that's like that. You know what you need to do to change it. If you want to change it, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Yeah. That kind of thing. But I have genuinely seen my friends look in the mirror and see things I just cannot physically see. So I do think a lot of people do struggle from that. And you probably just don't realise you even have it sometimes, because everyone just thinks, it's just normal to not like something about yourself. Which it is, but it shouldn't be.
No, absolutely not. And I do think we're just, as people, we're just too hard on ourselves.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Definitely. Diet culture, I mean, let's sort of talk more about that, because I have been on so many different diets over the years.
Yeah.
I was, I think, 11 when I went on my first proper diet. So I did Weight Watchers.
Yeah.
I remember I was losing weight for my sister's wedding.
Okay.
So that was my first experience of sort of being on a diet.
Okay.
And then over the years, my weight fluctuated because I couldn't find anything that was consistent. And also, I think from 11 to, I would argue, maybe even 24, 25, your hormones are fluctuating so much that, it can be quite difficult to control. So, yeah, I sort of yo-yo dieted and my weight fluctuated over the years. Do you remember when you had your first sort of diet experience?
I want to say it was probably around 13, 14, must have been. Must have been around that time.
And was that your choice, or?
It was my choice, because I said to my mum, like, I'm sick of looking this way and feeling this way. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure she was already doing Weight Watchers, and then she's like, oh, well, why don't you come with me?
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember going and feeling like the youngest person there, and all these adults looking at me and like judging. And you'd go, because I used to go with mum when she would just go anyway, just because it would be easier, I think, so I wasn't at home on my own. So I already knew what the setup was going to be, but then I was doing it, and it was a really like weird phase, because I knew it would help me health-wise. I knew it was something I wanted to do, but it was also like you'd go into these weigh-in sessions every single week. I was going to
talk about that with you.
And like I'd be like, oh, I'm not going to lose anything this week. I'm not going to lose anything. And and I'd really like stress out about it. And then I'd go, and if I would lose something, it would be either not as much as I wanted, or sometimes there were a couple of times where I'm like, wow, I've lost a lot this week, that's great. But then when you don't lose anything, or you've actually put weight on, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm never going to get out of this cycle, and it's soul destroying. But I think I started doing Weight Watchers, then stopped doing that, and then I think I've done Slimming World on and off over the years. I've just tried to do it the old fashioned way of eat more vegetables, but portion control, move your body more, and not follow sort of these diets, because I got to the point when I was jumping from that 13-year-old doing Weight Watchers to 24-year-old Lucy who was doing Slimming World. Oh god, I can't keep doing this. I don't want to look at a piece of food and think that's X amount of points, or that's X amount of sins, and I can't have that, or if I have that, it takes me over my daily allowance. And I understand it's a process that helps people get into that mindset of, losing weight in a healthy way.
But it can be quite dangerous.
But it can be really dangerous, and I don't want to look at food and see the value of it in that aspect, because I think that's really unhealthy.
Well, the value of it in that aspect is different to the value of it and the effect it actually has on your body when you eat it. Because, just circling back to the idea of Weight Watchers weigh-ins, because I remember those, and they started out as programs. I say they started out as programs that were to help people lose weight, which is what they've been branded as. But at the end of the day, it's a money-making scheme, really.
Yeah.
Because, diets always sell.
Yeah, of course.
And that's just the way it's always been. And I hope it's not the way it always will be, but it's hard to see it not being that way.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be some kind of fad come along.
Yeah, exactly.
They come and they go. That's just natural. But I just think that idea of going in front of a group of people and having to be weighed and then going, oh, she's lost a pound. And it's like, I don't really want people to know my business, thanks.
Yeah.
It doesn't sit well with me. And I think it creates this really negative thing of, you're a good person, you've lost weight. You're a bad person, you've not lost weight.
Or it's added weight on.
Yeah. That thing of good, bad, no.
Did you know what I mean? Did the people where you used to go to have your weigh-ins, would they almost be like, oh my God, well done, you've lost 5 pounds this week? But then if you had put on weight, you'd be like, right, so this week I'm really, really quietly writing it down. Like, really,
and it's
really
like,
quietly,
you think you're being...
You put on 2 pounds this week. What do you think we can do?
Yeah, and it's like, you think that's discreet, but it's like you're screaming and shouting for people that have lost weight. Yeah. And I'm not saying, people know, they're going to know.
Exactly. That used to freak me out because I hated that.
And they'd give you like those silly little cards that they'd fill out each week of like how many pounds you'd lost. And the only thing that I think I still to this day wish I could have from Weight Watchers, and I don't think they exist anymore, were Fruities. Did you ever have them? The little strawberry, it was like you could have a whole packet of it. And then that's where it doesn't make sense either, the whole diet and health thing with Weight Watchers was you could have a whole packet of these little fruit sweets. Yeah. And it was half a point. And it's like, what is in those that makes them less of a point, but they're all sugary. It was just, I
don't remember those specific sweets, but you used to be able to get, both at Weight Watchers and Slimming World, you used to be able to buy bars.
Yeah.
Like little chocolate cereal type bars, and oh my God, they're like crack. They were so good.
That's what I mean, but it's because they've taken the sugar out, they've put the sweeteners in.
Yeah.
It's realistically not that good for you.
No, it's not.
But that's how they dupe people. Anyway, we could talk about like how those kinds of companies just take you for a ride for hours. But
how do you think, though, from your experiences of dieting and diet culture over the years and trying all these different diets, going to these weigh-ins, etc., how do you really think and feel that sort of affected your mindset when it comes to food and exercise?
I think it created an all or nothing mentality for me, which is not healthy. No. And I have unpacked that in therapy. So it's because it just makes you, it then trickles into other areas of your life. If you think, okay, obviously putting it in the perspective of a diet, for example, an all or nothing mentality is you either binge eat and eat whatever you want. Yeah. Or you restrict yourself so much that you don't ever have a treat. And then the moment you have a treat, you undo it all because it becomes all, you binge. Yeah. So it becomes this cycle of having it all, taking it away, having it all, taking it away. And that's just not a consistent way to live. No. And that mindset can then put you into, I'm either exercising 400 times a week. Well, not 400, but you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm doing a crazy amount of exercise or I'm not exercising at all. Yeah. Whereas the realistic thing for that is find an exercise you like to do firstly. Don't try and force yourself into something that just isn't for you, because that's just never going to work.
No, it's not.
Have a healthy balance of, okay, I exercise 3 to 5 times a week if that's your level, or just 3 times a week. Even if you just go for a little walk every day, get outside for some fresh air, move your body a little bit. It's hard to have a set routine for every single person, because every single person has their own bodily issues, has their own abilities in movement, and has dietary restrictions, all of those kinds of things. So it's not one answer for everyone, and that's where I get really annoyed with advertising and diets, because they make it seem like it is a one answer for all.
Yeah, one size fits all.
And it just does not, it's just not true.
No, it's not.
I think taking the time to figure out, okay, what healthy foods do I really enjoy eating? Yes. What exercises do I really enjoy doing? How can I combine these things together to make a sustainable, healthy routine for myself? And I'm not going to lie, it's taken me years to realize that. It's only in the last year that I've realized that. I've done exercise on and off over the years, and I did quite a lot in high school because I was doing rowing, which takes up so much of your time and energy. But I think because I was pushed so much, I was exercising, like my routine for that was Monday to Friday, getting up at 4 a.m, rowing till 7 a.m. And then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, the evenings were in the gym or rowing until 6 p.m.
Jesus.
And then Saturday was race day. So that was
never, ever, ever catch me doing anything like that in my life.
But it was a lot. And
Yeah.
I was tired. And after 4 years, I gave up because I was like, I'm just not going to do well in school for my final 2 years if I keep doing this. I think that intensity of doing this sport and having to be at a certain level and win all of these races put me so far the other way once I gave it up. I was like, I don't want to do exercise. I don't want to be forced to do exercise. And then that was unhealthy also.
Yeah.
So I sort of went from, again, all or nothing. I went from one extreme to the other of doing a crazy amount of exercise to none at all.
Yeah.
And then it took me years to realise that was the reason why I didn't want to exercise.
Right,
so
okay.
Only in the last year have I found something that I actually enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I now have a consistent routine with exercise, which is something that's pretty mental for me to say because I haven't for 10 plus years before that. Yeah. That sort of leads nicely into if we would want to, because I've just said it's taken me years to get to this point, and what would I say to myself when I was younger in order to get to that faster, or would I change anything? Would you change anything?
No, I wouldn't, because as much as I would like to say, oh yeah, I would love to have changed this, that and the other, everything that's happened in my life up until this point, it's happened for a reason, and I can't change it, and I try to live my life without any regret, really. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I do feel sometimes if I had been consistent with, perhaps following that diet at that stage in my life and really, really pushed through after I'd lost a significant amount of weight, because the amount of times that I got to the point where I did lose 2.5, 3 stone, you know, and then if I just carried on and pushed myself to a bit more or got myself into a more consistent way that was also easy to navigate and a routine of something that doesn't overly push myself too hard of exercise, because I really love to swim. Maybe I would be more confident in myself and what I look like, and then that transitions into, buying and wearing the clothes that I want to wear. However, that didn't happen, and I can't change that. All I can focus on now is me in the present, and, me and food. We've always had this love-hate relationship. I love food. Who doesn't, right? But then I also hate it in the fact that, why do I do that? Why did I make that choice? And like you, over the last year and a half, I've been really trying to focus on myself in that respect and making better choices, but also not putting too much pressure on myself. I've had a few friends' weddings where I've been a bridesmaid, and I've really, really loved that, but I always feel like I put pressure on myself in the lead up to that to make sure I'm the best that I can be, when in fact it is what it is. I look like what I look like. I can't stand here and be like, oh, snap my fingers and I'm gonna be in the best shape of my life or where I want to be. It doesn't work like that. It takes time, and it's just understanding and letting myself know that it's okay, these things to take time. Whereas when my younger self, I would be like, I want this done now. I want it done. I want this ticked off my to-do list. And that never helped me, because I'd get to a certain point and I'd be like, well, why isn't this done yet? Why aren't I?
So do you think maybe then that is what you would say to your younger self, is don't try and have an instant fix. Give yourself time. It's
not about instant gratification. It really isn't. You've got to be kind to yourself and do things in your own time. What would you say to your younger self?
I actually sort of had an epiphany moment. I think it was last year. I realised a lot of the motivation I'd had in the past for losing weight or looking a certain way, all of that kind of stuff had come from me thinking I needed to look a certain way at an event, or thinking other people wanted me to look a certain way. And I never sat down with myself and said, why should you do this? How does this benefit you if you do this? Don't do it for other people. Do it for yourself. And also you have to be at a certain point in your life mentally to realize that and to allow yourself that, because everyone always talks about motivation, but no one ever talks about the fact that motivation does not see you through every single storm. Dedication does.
Yeah.
You have to be dedicated to what you're doing. And yes, motivation can help you be dedicated, but motivation doesn't work without dedication.
Yeah.
Because you could motivate someone, and if they're not dedicated to it, they'll eventually give up no matter how much you motivate them to do it.
Yeah.
Because if they don't want to do it,
They're not
going to.
Yeah.
So if they're not dedicated to it, they're not going to do it. So I guess my advice would be making sure you're doing these things for the right reasons, for yourself, and also that you are committed and dedicated to doing it in a healthy way that will benefit you in the long run, rather than, again, all or nothing, making it happen really quickly.
Yeah.
Do it for yourself. Don't do it for an event or another person.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Speaking of other people,
yeah,
how have you felt the impact of social media and influencers has affected your viewpoints on body image?
It's affected it a lot, I would say, because, and like I said last episode when we were talking about comparison, there's a lot of things that, you know, I actively choose to follow and, you know, see online, and there's other things that you don't want to. I think social media and influencers, they just, again, I would say it can be quite similar to the whole diet culture, where it's just like, oh, one size fits all, or you can do this, or pushing a product, you know, that, let's be honest, yeah, they might have trialed it out for a month or so.
Yeah.
You know, but is it actually legitimate that you use that every day? Is it actually something that is helpful? Is it just something that, because you're pretty and you've got a big fan base, that you know, you can push that? Like, where's the authenticity of that? And I think I take everything with a pinch of salt anyway, with what I see online. But sometimes you go on there and you just think, oh Christ, why is it that everybody else seems to have it easy when it comes to that? And then I've got to stop myself in that mentality of being like, look, it's very curated, isn't it? Like, let's just step back a second. To
flip it the other side, I do think there's a lot of people doing positive things with a social media platform.
Yes.
So
of course.
There are a lot of people who are just honest and share their weight loss journeys. I've come across people on TikTok and YouTube and all of that who've fully bared all and said, this is my body. I want to change my body. I don't feel healthy. I'm going to bring you along. And they share recipes that are healthy, and they show their workouts and they show their progress. And they also don't just show their progress of losing weight. They show their progress of, oh, I've put weight on again. But that comes into the whole accountability culture. And a lot of reasons why people do that is so that if they're putting it out there, it's like speaking something out loud, isn't it? If you're putting it out there, then you're holding yourself accountable, and that can actually be a motivator to then keep going. So I respect people who do that, and it is nice to see, because it can be really, really positive online. But then it's just almost, sometimes it doesn't matter whether it's positive or negative. Sometimes I just don't want to see either of it. And I think that comes down to, you sort of have to self-filter your life in a way. I remember I got to a point when I was on Instagram and I was like, I'm just going to follow my friends and family. So I unfollowed so many celebrities that I used to follow, because it was just my whole feed, and I was missing out on my friends and family. And that's not to say you shouldn't follow celebrities. Do what you want to do. But at that time, I've since refollowed a few. I just needed a reset to go, I just need to focus on people I actually know. Exactly. Do you have any, because I have a story in my mind that always makes me laugh when I look back on over the years of dieting and everything. Do you have any stories that you would want to share about your experience of body image or diet culture over the years, whether they're positive or negative? Or in what sense? Just memories that you have, because I mean, do you want me to tell you mine? And then so I remember feeling down about myself. I think I was probably about 16 at the time. And I mean, at this time I was doing rowing, so I was very toned, but I just still was a little larger. So I was strong, but I never thought that was an amazing thing at the time, to be strong, because it's hard to be strong. But I just, I wasn't a skinny girl in a mini dress. And so I told my mum about it, and she's like, oh, well, I'm about to try this new diet. And it was like this protein heavy diet. And I was like, oh, it'll probably work because I'm doing rowing and all of that. And sometimes it's to my credit. Sometimes it's not so much. I'm a very stubborn person. So when I want to do something, I will commit to it. I won't flake on it. Likewise, when I don't want to do something, I really will dig my heels in. Same here. So I was like, okay, I'll do this protein diet. And it happened to coincide. The first week of it was like really hardcore. It was like you just eat ham and eggs and chicken, and that was pretty much it. And so the first week coincided with this like school trip that the whole year was going on, and it was some kind of geography trip, I think. And at the end of it, we got to eat in a restaurant. And so we pull up to this restaurant. There's garlic bread, there's pizza, there's pasta, there's like every lovely carby treat you could want.
Ever want, yeah.
And I'm just sat there with my packed lunch of boiled eggs and ham, like in the corner. And at the time I was so sad. I didn't cheat, and I was like, oh wow, that's really good. I haven't cheated. I've just eaten my egg. But looking back on it, it's just such a ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
Like everyone around you is eating pizza and you're eating a boiled egg because you think that's the thing to do to be skinny.
Oh,
just
God.
Yeah. It's just silly, really.
Oh my God. That's insane.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any sort of similar stories to that or memories like that, because for me, honestly, when I was doing, you know, a diet of some description, I didn't really talk about it much. And I kept it to myself because or I didn't like to show that I was doing it because there was that shame involved.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's something that with influencers, there's a positive and a negative. If they're sharing that, it's reducing the amount of shame that people feel for going through that themselves, which is great. Yeah. But then the other side of it is that you feel shamed because you don't look the way that they do. It's all so complex. And
what a vicious cycle.
It really is.
God damn.
Everyone do yourselves.
Yeah.
No, not do yourselves.
Whoa, yeah.
But
take it back.
I'm going to redact that statement. Everyone do you.
Yeah.
Just be you.
And what feels comfortable for you and your own timeline, and there shouldn't be any pressure to achieve whatever it is that you're setting out in a short span of time.
Do things for the right reasons and for yourself and for your health, not for what you think you should look like or what you think you should be doing.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, if you don't enjoy it, don't flog a dead horse. Don't force yourself into eating these things just because you think they're healthy. Don't force yourself into doing exercise that you don't enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not sustainable and it's just shit.
Yeah, it is.
At the end of the day, it's really just not good.
Yeah, no.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's hear each other out. Hear me out. Okay, that was a good jingle, if I do say so myself. Would you like to go first?
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm going to start because you did it last time.
Just going straight in.
Yeah, I am. Would you rather be able to be invisible, right?
Okay.
And go into a room where there's people talking about you, but you cannot reveal yourself, you cannot make your presence known in any way, and basically hear what they're talking about you.
Yeah.
Could be absolutely anything. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be constructive, whatever.
Yeah.
Or would you prefer to be able to have the ability to read people's minds, right, at any given moment, and be able to call them out on bad things that they're, or, you know, things that they're thinking about you in that moment?
Two things.
Yeah.
I already know my answer straight away.
Oh, okay, great.
Secondly,
yeah,
the moment you started mentioning invisibility, my first thought went to Jessica Alba in Fantastic Four.
Great.
Yeah. I was like, she was really pretty in that movie. And then there's that whole scene where she's like naked, and anyway. Not that... Anyway, they really sexualized her for no reason in that. But I digress.
Anyway.
My answer is invisibility, because I think I wouldn't cope being able to read people's minds.
Yeah, no.
Because imagine if you lost control of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, if you lost control of being invisible, you might find yourself in a weird place, but then you could just, well, I guess you might disappear forever though. But I'd rather disappear forever than go insane from having everyone's thoughts in my brain.
Well, yeah.
If I had to choose. So I would say invisibility. For that reason, if it goes out of control, I'd rather be invisible than, But the other reason is that I myself sometimes will have a thought. It will be the first thought that comes into my head about a situation, and then I'll immediately have an afterthought that completely disagrees with that and goes, why did I think that? That's not that's not who I am. That's not what I think. And I think it's just natural that the human brain, it's a computer. It throws things out at you that aren't always correct.
Yeah.
So I would hate to have gone into listening to someone's mind say it was about me, taken that first thought and slipped right out of there.
Yeah, of course.
Had a go at them, and then they've gone, no, my afterthought was this.
Exactly.
And also I think that would lead people to not trust you and be angry with you because they're like, stop listening to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Or how do you know that they're not just purposefully thinking different things around you when they know that you're around?
Very true. And actually, I agree with you. I do. I think I would prefer to be able to be in a room, invisible, hear what everybody's got to say about me, good, bad, indifferent, whatever.
Because you can take that on and leave what you want with that as well.
And I can just go on my merry little way. Whereas hearing everybody's thoughts, or, you know, I don't want to hear about, on the flip side of what you've just said, I also don't want to hear about, their thoughts of, I'm really hungry, what am I going to have for dinner, blah, blah, blah. And they're not actually listening to me if we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
You know? Because then it's just like, oh, okay. Because then I feel like your opinion of that person could change as well.
Yeah. I wouldn't want someone listening in on my thought processes.
Yeah, no, same.
So I think it would be hypocritical to then go and listen to someone else's and think that was an okay thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea of having all those voices in your head really scares me.
Yeah.
Got enough of my own.
Yeah, I was just going to say, same here. And it's just like, God, they need to quieten down anyway.
Hush now.
Be quiet, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, invisible for the win. And also then you just sneak in and get a snack whenever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You could go in and watch the most amazing concerts for free. You could...
I know, right?
Oh,
imagine
so
how
good.
much money you would save.
Right? Just sneak onto an aeroplane if there's an empty first class seat.
Yeah.
You sit in that.
Get a meal deal from Tesco.
Two very different vibes, but...
Very different vibes, but hey, if I'm hungry...
Hey, you could get a Tesco's finest sandwich with that.
Yeah, I could.
You really could.
Every single time.
Yeah. Mental.
Wouldn't even have to use my club card.
Yeah. Or
incredible. You
could, but...
Yeah, go round and just take everybody else's points. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
This is...
Anyway, we've gone off on a tangent like we usually do. What's
my turn.
yours?
My turn again.
My turn.
So, mine is, what would you do if you could improve one aspect of yourself, but you had to reduce another aspect of yourself by the same amount?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So say, for example, I don't know, a slightly more vain one is, I would like to make myself skinnier.
Yeah.
But as a result of that, I have to make my hair not as shiny, or like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be that vain, but it can be if you want it to be, or it can be on a deeper level. It could be personality, it could be intelligence, it could be anything.
Oh, God.
It is tricky, isn't it? Because, or you could just say, I wouldn't want to do either. If you don't want to reduce something about yourself in order to increase something else, you can just say, well, nothing.
It's funny because back in the day, I probably would have said, like the previous example you gave, oh yeah, I'd love to change and be skinnier, you know?
Yeah.
But then in order to do that, I wouldn't want to reduce another aspect of myself, because then I thought, oh, if I decided to be, oh yeah, I'd want to be skinnier, but then in order to balance that out, have to reduce my personality or something. Like, that's not fair trade, I don't think. It's a difficult one, and then I don't know, I don't think I would change anything. I wouldn't want to change to improve, because I feel like I need to do that on my own anyway. Like, I don't want to have to sacrifice something else just to gain whatever, or to change something that I've wanted to change for a long time. Is that a cop-out answer? I don't know.
No, I think that's fair.
What about you?
It's difficult, because I do agree with you that it seems like not the best trade-off, because you're then just in the exact same position, but you just got something different that's better about you. But I don't have the best eyesight. So
fair enough.
I feel like I would have to improve I'm not blind, but...
No.
I have to wear glasses for driving. I have to wear glasses for lots of things.
Yeah.
And I don't mind wearing them, but it would just be nice to not have to.
Yeah, not to have to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe I would improve my eyesight, but what would I take away? That's the thing. It's hard to find something that's worth taking away to improve something when I've already got glasses that can improve it.
Catch-22.
Maybe I'll just take. Oh no, because then I might be deaf. I was going to say I could take away my hearing, but then I don't actually know how. I can't measure how bad my eyesight. Well, I can. I've got a prescription, but I can't measure the comparative.
No.
Loss of hearing I would feel. So I guess is it worth the risk of doing that?
Probably
it is
not.
Hard, isn't it? I'd like to say
hard.
I could choose, but I don't know.
No. Oh, you've stumped yourself.
Yeah, it's tricky. I thought I would have an answer, but no.
We're great.
I mean, I could cheat the system.
Of course. What's your loophole?
I could say I'm going to be skinnier, but I'll reduce the amount of freckles I have.
I mean, that's a fair enough answer if you want to go with that.
I don't really care about my freckles that much, but I don't know if that's a cop out.
Hey, if that's the road you want to go down, you go down it.
But I think I'd get more out of improving my eyesight than being skinny. Oh, I don't know.
Oh no.
That's not what you think. Would you improve something if you had to take something away? Leave us a comment.
Yeah.
Send us an email.
Yeah.
Because I think it's an interesting question.
It is an interesting question, and if this question has stumped you like it stumped us, or if you've got any thoughts or feelings, drop us a comment.
Yeah, or let us know if it hasn't stumped you and it was an immediate, I know what I'm changing.
I would actually be really intrigued to hear other people's thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Let us know, please.
Because I think you could even get into it in a sense of personality. Like, I would rather be more intelligent and be a little less honest, or things
exactly.
like that.
It could be, Oh, I hope people let us know, because I really, really want to know now from other people's perspectives.
Chuck us a cheeky comment, everyone.
Yes, please. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, well, I think that's been us this week.
It's been us.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah,
Thank
much appreciated.
For being you.
Thanks
Stay
for
body
being
positive.
Yeah.
And I will chat to you next week.
Well, we both will, hopefully.
Yes.
Unless she's kicking me off the pod.
I was directing that at you personally, but yes, listener, we'll chat to you too.
Yeah.
That time that was for you, Lucy.
Right. That's fine. See, miscommunication there.
Yeah, it's all right. We've cleared it up.
Yeah.
All right then. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of 29 to Life.
She's been Annie.
She's been Lucy.
New episodes drop every Thursday on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Catch the video version on YouTube.
Don't miss out on behind-the-scenes exclusives on all of our socials. You can find us with the same handle, at 29 to Life Pod, on Instagram, TikTok and YouTube.
Or email us at 29tolifepod@gmail.com.
Follow, like and subscribe on whatever platform you choose. We would love to see you there.
See you next Thursday. Bye.